Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic here on my YouTube channel. Special Saturday edition on the weekend. We take things a lot more relaxed. We sit back a little bit. Now, you guys might have noticed something. Usually on Saturdays and Sundays, we just call it the John Campea Show, but here's what I realized. And you know what? I had a couple of you guys email me this as well, so I listened to you guys. It's like I was treating the John Campea Show on Saturdays and Sundays a lot more casual. Like, we only took a couple questions. We didn't do a movie feed or anything like that, and we stretched it out a little bit longer because it's the weekend. And I had some of you guys say, you know what, John, it's really more like an open mic. And I thought, you know what? You're right. It really just is open mic. So from now on, John Campea Show, Monday through Friday. Open mic will be on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's why we're just doing this thing of open mic. Now, a little bit of house cleaning. Going to let you guys know. There may be some disruptions a little bit this week on the John Campea YouTube channel. Ann and I are moving on Friday. Actually, we're starting the move on Thursday night. Jonathan and Ray and my buddy Ryan are all coming over. We're going to be moving the studio actually on Thursday night. We're going to be moving the studio over to the new place. And then Friday, the movers come. We're going to move the rest of the place. So I'm going to try to keep the schedule as regular as possible, but it may get disrupted a little bit. Now, one other piece of house cleaning here. Yesterday, I said there was going to be a companion video this morning. And there was no companion video this morning. It's still coming today, but here's what happened. I forgot that Lost in Space debuted yesterday on Netflix. So I decided, I had a bunch of you guys asking me to do a review for that, so I started watching it, and I was watching it till about 4 in the morning, so I'm actually really tired right now. So I was trying to get through as many as possible, and I had to make the decision to either keep pushing through the Lost in Space thing or get the companion video done. I decided, you know what, I'll just keep pushing through Lost in Space. I'll do the companion video a little bit later in the day today on Saturday. Also, later today will be the Lost in Space review. So keep your eyes open for that. So today, we're just going to do open mic and take an all open discussion, all of us standing around our virtual water cooler, talking about our favorite things in the movies. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get started right now with this. And the first topic today sent in from the number Thor, who writes, do you think Solo will make more at the box office than Rogue One? I don't. It's possible. But Rogue One got over that $1 billion mark, right? Every single Star Wars movie, all 3 of the new Star Wars movies have all gone over the $1 billion mark, including Rogue One. Rogue One just barely got over it, but it got past the $1 billion mark. The reason I don't think Solo will make as much or more than Rogue One is because I've said the whole time I don't think Solo can make $1 billion. I don't think Solo is going to be a $1 billion film. And it doesn't need to be a $1 billion film to be successful, but I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. Now, at the same time, the tracking numbers that are coming out for Solo are higher than I expected. They are higher than I expected. I mean, they're saying somewhere like $150 million opening weekend, and I think I'm still thinking at most it'll be $100 million. At most. I also wouldn't even really be surprised if it made less than that. But tracking is saying 150. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to sneeze in a second. I can feel it coming on. There it is. Okay, so it is tracking higher than I thought, but even then, I still don't think it can make $1 billion. And that's really what the question boils down to. Can Solo be a $1 billion film? Because that's what Rogue One is. And I still just don't see it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. The latest trailer for Solo has got me legit excited about this movie. I am now excited about seeing Solo, whereas I was just looking forward to it before because it's a Star Wars movie. But now I'm legit excited, but I still don't see it being a $1 billion film. And it doesn't need to be a $1 billion film, but who knows? We just have to wait and see. All right, next one comes to us from Manuel Fernandez, who writes, Starfire actress Anna Diop said on Instagram, the leaked photo is a misrepresentation of the character and the production behind it, and was upset that this was the first photo that fans got to see of her. And yeah, look, actually, let me pull this up here. So for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, there's a new show coming on the Warner Brothers DC streaming service is coming later this year. And one of the shows that they're starting off with, hold on a second while I pull this picture. One of the shows that they're starting off with is Titans, is Teen Titans. Although it's not called Teen, I think it's just called Titans. And as many of you guys know, some behind-the-scenes photos leaked. Now, a while ago, they put out an official image of Robin. And Robin, the Robin image looked fantastic. But then they put out one of Beast Boy and Raven and Starfire, and they don't look so good, including, this is the picture. Let me see if I can get this blown up for you here a bit. This is the picture that everybody's kind of talking about, right? Is this one of Starfire. And yes, it looks terrible. And guess what? The Beast Boy picture looks terrible too. I mean, they look awful. They look like the production crew of this show walked into a discount Target store, went to their, out of stock or never used bin of crap from holiday costumes, from Halloween costumes, and they just picked out random crap and put together a costume. They look terrible. However, one of the things that she says in that post is exactly what I've been saying all along. It is a shame that these behind-the-scenes photos leak because we have no context for them. They create an impression that has probably nothing to do with what the filmmakers or showmakers, whatever, want to convey about the character, or are probably accurate in any way. Again, for those of you who watch my show regularly, you're probably getting sick of hearing me talking about this, but it's true. Go back to the Batman vs. Superman. We got that picture of Scoot McNairy in Batman vs. Superman. He's wearing the green leggings, and we had no context. There's just a picture of Scoot McNairy behind the scenes. Somebody snapped a photo, put it online, and then everybody formulated all these theories about it. All these theories about it. He's the Flash. That's why they put green screen on his legs. He must be the Flash. Oh, no, he's Green Lantern because it's green. Therefore, it must, there were all these things and people were 100% convinced about it, blah, blah. Turns out it was none of that stuff. He had green screen on his legs because he was going to be playing a dude in a wheelchair and they wanted to do something with his legs digitally. That's why. But we had no idea about that because it was out of context. And that's why I keep telling people, do not get worked up about these pictures. When they're not official, they're just leaked. We have no idea what the context of them are and anything. Same thing happened with the Captain Marvel. Remember those Captain Marvel photos came out a couple months ago when she was in the green Captain Marvel outfit? And then as it turns out, they had never even started shooting the movie yet. That was really just a costume test or a basic camera test. We don't even still know. And that's why I've been always saying, let's not get too wrapped up in these pictures because they're out of context. So let's just take a breath, wait till it comes out. Now, do I think the pictures look stupid? Yes, the pictures look stupid, but they're out of context. So let's take a breath. Let's give it a beat. Let's wait till we see some official stuff coming out when it's going to look the way they actually want us to see it. Then we can start making, and maybe it'll still look like crap, maybe, but at least let's give it till then before we get too worked up about how the costumes on these guys look. That's just my thought. All right, let's move on here. The next one comes to us from KW Garrett, who writes, "It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Garrett. It's my birthday, so I'm off to see Chappaquiddick." Good call. Did you ever check it out? By the way, Under the Giant documentary was good, but heartbreaking. I expected no less. Still haven't watched it. I've been working 24/7 and then trying to catch up on the Lost in Space series so we can get a review of it. So no, I still haven't watched Under the Giant. And you guys know how excited I've been for that. So it kills me that I still haven't seen it. And I'm probably not going to see it today because I got to finish off the Lost in Space. I need to do the review for that. I need to do the companion video. And then I got to go to the airport later to pick up Anne because Anne comes back home today. And then we got to start getting ready to move. So I don't know when I'm going to see it. And no, I haven't had a chance to run out and see Chappaquiddick yet. I'm excited to see it though. I'm going to see it this week. Anne and I are going to find an evening as we're in the middle of packing to just run down to the AMC and watch it because we're both kind of wanting to see that. So happy birthday again, man. I hope you have a great one. All right. The number Thor writes, "Ethan Hawke has been nominated for 4 Oscars, but has never won. Is he the best actor without an Oscar?" No. Nowhere near. There's been some really great discussion lately, actually, about, and it is a great discussion to have about best actor without an Oscar, best actress without an Oscar, best director without an Oscar. There's great fun discussions to have. I still believe, bar none, the best actor in the world without an Oscar right now is Ralph Fiennes. I think Ralph Fiennes is just simply one of the finest thespians in the business. It is crazy to me that he doesn't have an Oscar. I think that title went to Gary Oldman before this year. Gary Oldman was kind of the de facto, commonly, widely accepted, understood best actor without an Oscar, but now he's got one. Look, Handsome Hawk is a very good actor. Ethan Hawke is a great actor. I like his stuff very, very much. And you know what? I'm going to see if I can pull something up here. I don't know if I'm going to be... I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but I'm going to try at any rate. Hawk is wonderful. And you know what? He's a super nice dude, too. Like, Handsome is a super, super nice dude, and I like him a lot. And you're right, he's been in a number of things. I didn't realize he had 4 nominations. I knew Hawk had a couple of nominations. I didn't think he had 4 of them, so that's a good number. And it's reflective of the fact that he's a very, very good actor. And I think we see that every time he's in something. But would I put him in that stratosphere? Would I put him in that conversation, that category? You know, does he belong in the talk of the greatest actors not to have an Oscar? And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think he belongs up there. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I'm not coming across it here anytime quick. But I have this great picture that I love of me and Handsome Hawk. And, oh, actually, you know what? There it is. So hold on. Let me see if I can get this and bring it up here. Handsome Hawk is a really nice dude. He's a really good interview. Again, that's a little small. Let me see if I can scale that up for you guys. He's a really great interview. I loved having him in my studio. He's been in my studio a couple of times, and he's a fun-loving guy. He's one of these rare types that sometimes you get these actors who just really love being an actor and they're really fun. And then sometimes you get these actors who are like really serious about their craft. The great thing about Ethan is that he's both. Like, I had him in my studio there for about 45 minutes, and we were just sitting down chatting, and he's both. He's just like fun, love, and joke around, blah, blah, blah. But you start talking about acting, he loves acting. Like, the art of acting. He'll go into it and talk about the art of acting. At least he did with me the one time. So he's a great example for something like that. But no, even as much as I like him, I don't think I'd put him in that discussion. Maybe on the outskirts of the discussion, but he wouldn't like be in my top 5, for example, of best actors in the world without an Oscar. But he's a great actor. He's absolutely a great actor, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he has an Oscar on his mantle before it's all said and done. Okay, next one. Zach Clayton Douglas writes, 3 games for Kadri seems a little bit much. Yeah, talking about my Leafs there. You guys know I predicted the Bruins would win in 7, and I still think it's going to go 7. And I still think the Bruins are going to win. But, look, I think it deserves something. I do. I think the play, basically there was a hit. Kadri's a Toronto Maple Leafs player. He's been suspended for 3 games in the playoffs. 3 games seems a bit excessive because 1 playoff game is the equivalent of like a 5-game regular season suspension. So it's like he just got suspended for 15 games. That did seem a bit excessive. But, you know, it's hard to blame the NHL or any professional sports league that tries to enforce rules to protect the players. So was it excessive? Yes. Am I willing, getting ready to go on a witch hunt and say, burn them down? No, I mean, I get it. They're trying to protect players. I get that too, but you're right. It does seem a little bit excessive. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Leafs fan. I do think it's a little bit excessive, but hey, there you go. Ben Hayusa writes, saw Rampage a few nights ago with my mom. Simply a silly, fun popcorn movie, and my mom enjoyed it. George flipping the, I wish you didn't put that in there, Ben. That's a little bit of a spoiler. It's just a momentary thing. But guys, really think about what you're writing in these comments, please, because that can be considered a little bit, it's minor. It's super minor, yes, but there are some people who may consider that a spoiler. But yeah, I'm glad you had a chance to see it. I feel the same way. It is a dumb movie. I mean, it's dumb. But they knew that. And they never tried to make the movie feel anything other than dumb. And you can tell that with their dialogue and everything. They kind of embrace the dumbness of it, right? Like right from the beginning of the movie, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Like right from the beginning of the movie, you can tell they were embracing kind of the stupidity of the whole thing and really going for it. In that way, it's not accidentally dumb. They went for that. And it comes with all the drawbacks of doing that, but it also came with some of the advantages. And especially, it all built up for that 3rd act, and it was fun. And it was a good time. So, winning any Oscars? Nope. In the conversation for best video game movie ever? Probably not. Even though that wouldn't be too hard. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Just a silly, dumb, fun movie. Lots of movies try to be silly and dumb and fun and fail. Sometimes a lot of these movies, all they accomplish is the silly and dumb. And they don't end up delivering any of the fun. At least Rampage delivered the fun. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I'm completely with you on that, as a matter of fact. All right, next one comes to us from Chris Martin, who writes, Favorite movie villain? Well, that's kind of easy. That's Meg. Well, it depends on the genre you're talking about. Overall, it's Vader. I mean, clearly it's Vader. If we're talking about the comic book movie genre, it's Magneto. But Magneto is my all-time, not just my favorite villain, not just my favorite Marvel. Magneto is my all-time favorite comic book character. Not hero, villain, whatever. Magneto is my all-time favorite comic book character. I think he's the most fascinating character. I think he's the deepest character. I just love the Magneto character. And so there's that. But overall, it's villain. It's Vader. It's Vader is the greatest villain of all time, no doubt. The number Thor writes, will we get a Bad Boys 3? Your thoughts? Doesn't look like it. Here's an interesting thing. We talked about this on the movie news feed about a month ago. But there is a spin-off. There's a Bad Boys spin-off show coming. Bad Boys, hold on a second. Let me bring this up here. There is a spin-off TV show coming. And the show is going to star, where did it go? Oh, shoot, I did that wrong. Hold on a second. Bad Boys 2, which I should have got. It's, I can't believe I'm freezing on the name of the actress right now. Oh, it's Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union, who played like Will Smith's love interest and Martin Lawrence's sister in Bad Boys 2, they're giving her character a spin-off TV show. And she has moved, I believe she's moved to Los Angeles, and now she's going to be an LA cop, and it's the same character. Now, whether we're ever going to see Will Smith or Martin Lawrence cross over into that, we don't know. But there's a Bad Boys spin-off show coming. At this point, I don't think we're ever getting Bad Boys 3. They tried to get off the ground about a year and a half ago. It looked like there might have been some momentum getting it going, but it never came to fruition. Okay, let's see here. Josh Crichton writes, if you were in charge at a studio, which one would you choose to have remake? Airplane with Robert Hay or Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield? Well, you don't remake a spoof movie, right? So right there, that immediately wipes out Airplane because a spoof movie is already, you don't remake a spoof movie because it's not really a narrative film in the first place. So even though I have no real interest in a Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield remake, if I had to choose between the two, I go with the Rodney Dangerfield one because I don't think you remake a spoof film. Let's see. Bomb Squad writes, 12 days, John. 12 days. I'm not ready for this. OMG. What's in 12 days? I have no idea. Is there something big going on in the world of movies in 12 days? I can't think of anything. Gosh. If only there was some kind of monstrously big movie coming in 12 days so I would know what you're talking about. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. 12 days. For me, it's 9 days. 9 days. I get to see Avengers Infinity War. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am. I am so stoked. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how excited I am for this movie. So yeah, I am once again, guys, make sure you're following me on like you're subscribed to my YouTube channel because what I did with the Black Panther premiere is I did some live streaming, just a little bit, but some live streaming from around the premiere. Like I couldn't bring my phone into the theater for obvious reasons. But when I was outside showing you all the red carpet and everything, so I was doing a bunch of live streaming from there. I will do more live streaming from the red carpet at the premiere of Avengers Infinity War as Ann and I are going into the theater. And unfortunately, I'll then have to turn my phone in before I go into the theater. But from outside the theater on the red carpet, all the shots and things you get to see. It was really fun doing that for Black Panther. Gonna do it again for Avengers Infinity War. Make sure you guys are following me on the night of the 23rd. Okay. Let's see here. Alexander Helmer writes, is there an advantage to pre-ordering Hot Toys? Yeah, because they make them in, if I'm not mistaken, Robert Meyer Burnett would be the better guy to answer this question, but they make them in limited amounts. And once they're done, they don't sell them anymore. Like you can't go on their website and buy any of the figures that I have back here. You can't go buy them from there. If you want to buy those figures, you got to buy them used or you got to buy them secondhand. So pre-ordering them ensures that you are going to get your model. It ensures you're going to get your figure. And that's kind of the big advantage of it. It goes against my grain. I don't like pre-paying for stuff that I'm not going to get for another 8 months. But I guess with Hot Toys, that's just what you got to do. So, yeah, that's the advantage. It just ensures that you will get your figure. Because it's not like you just go onto Hot Toys website and buy any figure they've ever made. No, you can't. Unless I'm wrong about that. God, I hope I'm wrong. But I've looked around. It's like, you can't buy these anymore. So that's kind of the big advantage there. Bomb Squad writes, do you think the third act in Infinity War will be every character going to Wakanda or different areas with different teams? P.S. Iron Spider. Well, you just kind of gave a big blanket statement there, Bomb Squad, when you say, do you think it'll be them all going to Wakanda or going to different areas? Well, by default, they're all going to different areas. I mean, one of those two things is happening. They're either all going to Wakanda or they're all going to different areas. One of those two things happens. No, I don't think we're going to see them all in Wakanda. I don't think we're going to see them all assembled in Wakanda. So I think we're going to see a bunch of them there. But I think this is a battle that is going to be waged on multiple fronts. I think when we get into the third act battle, we're going to be getting into a situation where it's like a Star Wars-esque battles, multiple battles going on multiple fronts. So we'll have a battle going on in Wakanda. We'll have a battle going on in New York, a battle going on somewhere else. Like, I think it's going to be one of those things. Because you know how, like, in Return of the Jedi, there was the Luke and Vader fight going on the Death Star. You had the battle going on in space outside of the Death Star, and you had the battle going on the ground on Endor, right? So you had 3 consecutive battles going on. I think we're going to see something like that. Now, it is possible that what the Russo brothers will do, because this is what they've done before with Civil War, is that they really just had one big set piece with the airport fight, right? There weren't 5 other fights going on elsewhere around the world when the airport fight was going on. It was just the airport fight. So maybe they'll do that again, and when we get to the Wakandan battle, it'll just be the Wakandan battle. So that's a total possibility, because there is precedent for that. I still kind of think we're going to get a multiple location battle going on, but who knows? We're going to have to wait. Either way, I'm sure it's going to be great. All right, let's see. Josh Crichton writes, John, I would love to see you as a guest on GMA. GMA, is that Good Morning America? John, I would love to see you as a guest on Good Morning America, The Ellen Show, Live with Kelly and Ryan, etc., because your positive influence and inspire others, i.e. inspire me to write a sci-fi novel. Oh, that's awesome, Josh. I'm glad you're doing that. You know what? Want to know a funny story? Here's a funny story. And this is 100% true. A couple of months ago, like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Anyway, Ann and I got reached out to by The Ellen Show. This is totally a true story. A producer from The Ellen DeGeneres Show reached out to Ann and I. And they asked us if we would be interested in appearing on the show. And they reached out to Ann about that. And she didn't know any other details. So Ann just gets a hold of me. She goes, I got this email. Do you think this is legit? And when I looked into it, it was legit. She said, sure. So later on, we set up a conference call with me and Ann and this producer from The Ellen DeGeneres Show. And we started talking, and they started telling us about this idea. They wanted to do the segment on YouTubers. And because I guess a lot of Ellen's audience doesn't realize what a phenomena, like people doing YouTube, everybody knows YouTube, but people are doing YouTube full-time professionally, whatever. And they thought that Ann and I, because we were a married couple that both do YouTube stuff, they thought that was an interesting angle on that, and they were interested in that. So we had this conversation, and then we had another conversation. And I thought, you know what? I like Ellen DeGeneres very much, but I did not like her hosting the Oscars. I did not think she did a good job at the Oscars. I think she's an incredibly entertainment personality. I think she's great. I get a big kick off watching the clips of her show because she does a lot of crazy things. I love her as a comedian. I like her a lot, but not like her as a host of the Oscars. I didn't think she did a good job. I just got to be honest with it. So as we're going through this process with The Ellen Show, I decided, you know what? I got to tell these guys because I don't want them to get blindsided. So I got a hold of the producer again. I said, look, I think you need to be aware of something, though. I just thought of this, but you need to know that I have publicly been very critical of Ellen as the host of the Oscars. And I think you should know that before making any type of decision as to whether or not to put Ann and I on The Ellen Show. Because I was very public. I did it on my shows. I was very public about that. So if that makes it too awkward, that's totally cool, but you need to be aware of that because I don't want to be on it and then you guys get blindsided later that Ellen had some nobody on the show who was talking shit about her before, right? I said, I think it's only fair that you guys know about this. So that was the last conversation we ever had with the Ellen people. Now, to be honest, I don't know if they decided not to do the spot because of what I told them, or maybe they just decided not to do the spot. Like, they never said it was a 100% guarantee anyway, right? So I don't know if it had anything to do with me telling them that, but I just felt like I had to be honest with you. But yeah, true story. A couple months ago, Ann and I both came close to being on the Ellen DeGeneres show, which would have been a hoot, but I totally get it. I totally get it why I didn't. Okay, Mr. J writes, how about that B. Andre the Giant documentary? If you haven't seen it yet, it's a must-watch. Made me wish I had the opportunity to meet him. I had an opportunity to see him once. I never met him, but I got to see him in person once. And, like, he was larger than life. Like, what you see on the TV screens does not... The sense of awe you got in his presence, what you see on TV does not do it justice. Like, when you're actually standing there, and because maybe some of you got to NBA games and you've seen people as tall as Andre, sure, but the size of Andre the Giant was just, it was awe-inspiring when you saw it. But anyway, I still haven't seen it, dying to see it. I'm hoping this week sometime I get to watch it, because you guys know, I've been talking about this for about a month now. I'm so excited to see it. All right, Toothless writes, thoughts on this week's insane Supernatural episode. Really like this week's episode of Supernatural. I don't want to give a spoiler away, but I was thinking, man, Gabriel's an archangel. That means something. And sure enough, you're damn right, it meant something. It was great to see. It was great to see. I loved the episode. I thought it was great. It was great seeing a certain character back again I don't want to spoil anything, but it was great seeing a certain character back again that we hadn't seen in a while. Yeah, I totally loved the episode. Really, really stoked to see where they go from here. James Dixon writes, do you think we may get a big push for Panther, Captain Marvel, and Strange to replace/guide the MCU from the OG trio, or do you think they may push Fantastic Four and X-Men? Well, at this point, they don't even know if they're getting Fantastic Four and X-Men. I know there have been some reports going around that the deal is scheduled to be concluded by summer of 2019. Don't believe that. You cannot schedule this thing. The hoops that they're going to have to go through. And look, this whole thing that's going on with the Time Warner, the AT&T acquisition of Time Warner, aka Warner Brothers as well, could potentially throw a lot of wrenches into this. So discard anything. I mean, look, yeah, maybe they're hoping to have it wrapped up by summer of 2019. But anybody who's telling you, oh yeah, it's done now, it's scheduled, it's going to be summer 2000, don't believe that. That's just read into it more, read more. And you see, that's just not the case. I mean, it could, but don't believe anybody who's telling you right now that that's a locked deal. So that thing still may not go off. Kevin Feige, if we're going to take him at his word, has said he's not even thinking about X-Men or Fantastic Four right now. He said, there's no point in doing that. We have to continue until this deal gets done. We have to continue on business as normal. And that's what you got to do. And that's what he's doing. So I would think if either of those circumstances that you're setting up here, James, are actually at play or in play, I would think it would be the Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange angle. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're not Iron Man. They're not Tony Stark as played by Robert Downey Jr., and they're not, more importantly, Captain America, who I believe is the heart of the MCU. But hey, never know. But if it was either of these two situations, it's the first one that you're talking about here. Panther, Cap, and Strange kind of taking over the mantle of the MCU for the other leaders. All right. Mickey Bosch 87 writes, hi from Ireland. Hello from Ireland, home of my favorite band of all time. Thanks for great content. What do you think makes Feige so special? What has he figured out that all the other high-paid executives creating movie universes are missing? I think there's a couple things about Feige that, as you so articulately put, makes him so special. The one thing is he believes in himself, and he believes in his vision. That's key. One of the other aspects, there's no one thing, but one of the other key aspects is this. He is not swayed by the audience. He wants to give the audience the best possible stuff. but he knows that the source for the best possible stuff for the audience is not the audience. He knows that. And there's a very popular theory out there that could not be more wrong. And that popular theory is, on a day-to-day basis, you got to listen to the fans. No, you shouldn't. Not on a day-to-day basis, at least at any rate. Like maybe grand scale, big picture stuff, sure. But here's the thing. Whenever I get into these arguments or discussions with people about when they say, oh, the filmmakers need to listen to the fans, this is what I say. Hold on a second. You mean you. You mean the filmmaker should listen to you, because guess what? What you think is not representative of all the fans. Oh, they need to listen to the fans. Do you also mean like more than half the fans that disagree with you? No, I mean the fans who agree with me. So basically what you're saying is usually 9 times out of 10, when you hear somebody say, I wish this filmmaker or I wish this studio or I wish this franchise would listen to the fans, what they're really saying is they need to listen to me. That's what they're saying really. Because nobody has a corner on the fans. Nobody represents the totality of the fans, right? Let's take The Last Jedi, for example. Like there's a whole bunch of people, oh, they should listen to the fans. Well, guess what? And if you didn't like The Last Jedi, perfectly cool. Totally cool that you didn't like it. There's stuff in there to not like. Even as a fan, I'm going to tell you that. There's stuff in there to not like. But guess what? You are in the minority. Most of the people who saw The Last Jedi liked it. So when you say they should listen to the fans, what you're really saying is they should listen to you. When it came to, I don't know, Last Airbender, they should have listened to the fans. When it came to, I don't know, Fast and Furious, they should listen to the fans. When somebody says they need to listen to the fans, what they are really saying, look past their bullshit, because what they're really saying is they need to listen to me and the people who think like me. That's what they're saying. Because there is no common consensus amongst the fans. There isn't. There is huge disparity of opinion when it comes to the fans. So again, let me repeat for like a 5th time because it's so key. Anybody who tells you that studios or filmmakers should listen to the fans, what they are really saying is they need to listen to me. That's what they're saying. So, and I think one of the things that makes Kevin Feige so special is he has looked beyond that. And he's really good at that. And when you look beyond that, that makes you less reactionary. So when you can look at some other studios and other franchises that have acted very reactionary. Oh, we're doing this. Oh no, we heard in a poll that somebody didn't like the costume color that this guy was wearing. Quick, change everything. And they change everything. And as a result, you get no consistency. You get no true North Star. You never get a clear direction. And because you're constantly being buffered back and forth by reacting, right? Kevin Feige has never been a reactor. He's always been a navigator. He knows where he wants to go and he's going to take it. Now, again, that's why I mean when I say, you shouldn't listen to the fans on a day-to-day basis. But on a grander scale thing, let's say, for example, the MCU puts out 3 stinkers in a row. 3 films in a row that the audience didn't like, the critics don't like. Blah. Okay, now you're not reacting. Now you're taking a step back and saying, okay, we've got a large sample size here of a trend of things that aren't being received well. Now we need to look at this. But the odd bumps in the road, the little blips on the radar here and there of things that go wrong, you don't react to those. You keep an eye on them, but you stay your course. And that's what Kevin Feige has done. When they've hit, bumps in the road like Iron Man 2, when they've hit bumps in the road like Thor: The Dark World, when they've hit bumps in the road, it has never taken Feige off his true north or his direction and where he wanted to go. And at the end of the day, it is that belief in himself and that commitment to the plan, I think, that has made him and differentiated him from like a lot of other franchise runners, right? Because in the early days of Marvel, there were a couple of bumps in the road. He didn't get distracted by the bumps in the road. He knew the direction they were going. And he kept going there. And again, I'm sure if they put out 3 or 4 in a row that get negative reactions, he'll say, okay, now we've got a trend here. Now we need to reevaluate our situation. But he will never on a day-to-day basis be bumped and pushed off course by this opinion or that opinion, or oops, one thing went wrong, or oops, one poll online said this, or whatever. He's never distracted by that. And that, I think, is the key thing that makes him so successful at what he's doing. Great question, Mickey. All right, next one comes to us from Adamus95, who writes, finally started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Love it. You know what? Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of those shows, it's like Community to me. I watched a couple of episodes, like maybe 2, did not find it funny at all. I didn't find Brooklyn Nine-Nine funny at all. Now, I felt the same way about Community a couple of years ago, but then as I shared with you guys recently, I started watching it again because Anne's been binging it. And now I'm kind of digging it. Now I'm kind of into it. Maybe if I did the same thing with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I would have the same reaction. But like again, I've only seen about 2 episodes and I didn't find them funny. But I felt the same way about Community, and now I do find Community funny. So who knows? Maybe I would change my mind. John Hine writes, just saw The Beaver and loved it. Your thoughts? The Beaver. Is that the one with Jodie Foster and Mel Gibson? Let me just make sure that's the one I'm thinking of. Because if that is the right one, then yes, I thought it was a very good movie. Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, the one with Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster, by the way, who also directed The Beaver. I thought she did a great job with that movie. And Mel Gibson, this is like 7 years ago, when Mel Gibson is starting to finally come out of the shit puddle that he created for himself. But back in 2011, he was still right in the middle of the shit puddle that he had created for himself. And I think because of that, the movie did not get the attention it deserved. It's a good movie, and Mel Gibson is kind of awesome in it. But again, it was right in the middle of the shit puddle that he created for himself, and it got overlooked by a lot of people, which is too bad because it's a quality piece of filmmaking. Let's see. Next one comes to us from Mason Barr, who writes, where does Mason Barr? Okay. You seen Thursday's episode of Supernatural? Oh my God, yeah, as we just talked about, yes I did, and you're right. It was a really solid episode. Really enjoyed that episode. Oops, okay, we have this happens at least once a day. Nobody panic. We just had our content jump. Where'd it go? Okay, here we are now. Chris Martin writes, just an equipment recommendation. Clippage Pro Media 2.1 speakers. I use them for anything. I watch 2 50-watt speakers and a 100-watt subwoofer, my own little home theater system. That sounds like a good recommend. Actually, I'm always looking for good recommendations. And you know what? I'm moving this week, and maybe I'll be in the market for new. Now, I got to admit, I've got a really good, I tried a surround sound system, wasn't really happy with it. I ended up getting this Samsung soundbar with a subwoofer. Pretty straightforward, right? And I got it for like $300. I mean, it was actually pretty cheap. I have never had better sound than this stupid little thing. This little $300 soundbar with a subwoofer, and it has served me so well. It's going to be tough to get me to get something else, but I am going to look. As a matter of fact, I love my TV, but now that I'm moving, I'm thinking about looking at another TV since I'm going to have a new fireplace to hang it over. So I'm thinking about that too. So I'm going to Amazon search that and see what that's all about. But thanks for the recommendation, Chris. That's great. Jamie Hutchison writes, hey, John, love your show. Thank you so much, Jamie. Do you think we are getting too many trailers and TV spots for films? What are your thoughts on this? Thanks. TV spots, yes. Yeah. I didn't think that before, but we are getting to a point, and I get it. Studios need to market their films. I get that. But I believe, there comes a point of oversaturation. And I believe we are hitting that point. That, we get some of these big movies now, and then once we get to within a month of its release, it feels like we're getting a new TV spot every other day. I know we're not getting a new TV spot every other day, but it feels like that. You know what I'm saying? We've had, 2 or 3 trailers. Perfect. And then it seems like 7 different TV spots. Just play the same TV spot. You're just raising awareness. Because the more you show, the less you're giving us to experience in the theater. And I get it. I'm all for marketing a film. Market it heavily. Absolutely. But putting out so many different TV spots. Look, make 2 TV spots and just repeat them. That's all you need to do. 3 trailers, 2 TV spots, massively, broadly appeal them, show them everywhere you can, but don't do 14 different TV spots and 6 different trailers. To me, that's a bit much. And again, it gets to the point of saturation, and then you start oversaturating with how much content you're putting out in your marketing campaign. So yeah, I believe we are getting to a point where they're starting to do a little bit too much. And I believe that Infinity War is one of the guilty parties there too. I don't think they needed to do this much. That's just my thought. Thunder Knight 19 writes, if you had to watch either Star Wars The Phantom Menace or Star Trek The Motion Picture, which would you choose? Phantom Menace, actually. Because at least in The Phantom Menace, as much as I dislike that movie, at least in The Phantom Menace, you get the pod race, which I love. I will defend the pod race till I'm blue in the face. And I hate that movie, but I will defend the pod race. I think that was filmmaking masterpiece. The excitement of it, the tension of it. Okay, never mind the 2-headed Howard Cosell. Oh, he races into the lead. Like, that was stupid. But take that out of it for a second. The sound design of the pod race. Oh, I could turn off, I could put blindfold on and just listen to the pod race scene. And it's masterful. The musical score touches the sound design, the mixing, so good. I think that's a great scene. You also get like the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan Darth Maul fight, which is just awesome. I love that. So as much as I don't like that movie, there are things that I enjoy watching in that movie. Even though overall I think the movie's terrible, there are still moments in that film I quite enjoy. And so I cannot think of any of those things in Star Trek The Motion Picture. The original Star Trek The Motion Picture was just awful. How it got a sequel, I'll never know. Thank God it did, because we got one of the best sci-fi movies ever in Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. But how it got a sequel, I have no idea, but I'm glad it did. But yeah, I would actually watch Phantom Menace before I would watch Star Trek The Motion Picture. There are many Star Trek movies I would watch over The Phantom Menace, but not that one. All right, next one comes to us from the number Thor, who writes, better Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and by the way, get well, Arnold. Collateral Damage, Raw Deal, Red Heat, Last Stand, or Commando. Commando. I'm going to kill you last. I get a kick out of Commando, so I will go Commando on that. Not really a lover of any. Red Heat's kind of cute. Last Stand has its upside. Collateral Damage has some upside. Raw Deal certainly has some upside, but I'll go Commando. I'll go Commando on that one. Stephen Foley writes, one of my favorite biopics is Basquiat. Jeffrey Wright is great in the title role, along with an all-star cast. Bowie, Hopper, Oldman, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know the movie. Let me just look up a poster here, see if it jogs my memory. So it's about 20 years old, the film, and it had Jeffrey Wright in it. I love Jeffrey Wright. Other than James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons, Jeffrey Wright has the best voice in Hollywood. Other than James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons, I would say best voice in Hollywood is Jeffrey Wright. He's amazing. Yeah, look, Benicio del Toro, Claire Forlani's in it, David Bowie, Dennis Hopper, Gary Oldman, Christopher Walken, Willem Dafoe, Parker Posey. What the hell? I'm not even aware of this film. This is one of the things I love about Open Mic and this show, is that you guys tell me about these things. There are things I need to learn. And look at this. Listen to this cast again. Jeffrey Wright, Benicio del Toro, Claire Forlani, David Bowie, Dennis Hopper, Gary Oldman, Christopher Walken, Willem Dafoe, Courtney Love, Tatum O'Neal. Are you kidding me? Like, what a cast. And this movie's never been on my radar. Thank you, Stephen, for sharing that with me. That looks insane. Okay, Holid Love writes, I'm jealous of everyone who will see Infinity War on Monday. Lucky sons of bitches. I'm seeing it on the 26th. Use the super chat for like 1/4 of a bucket of popcorn. Yeah, that's pretty much as you're going to get out of it, right? 1/4 for a bucket of popcorn. It is nuts. I'm so excited about Monday, the 23rd at any rate. Not this Monday, but the 23rd. Just so stoked. And so stoked that everybody's going to get to see it so quickly after that. And again, guys, let me just mention this. Saturday the 27th, or actually, sorry, which day of the week is that? No, 27th is the Friday, right? Yeah, 27th is the Friday. Saturday the 28th. Saturday the 28th. Don't forget, I haven't set an exact time yet, but in the afternoon on Saturday the 28th, we are going to do like a 2-hour long, full live, open Avengers Infinity War spoiler discussion review. I'll review it, talk about everything spoilery, and then just do a live open talking about nothing but Avengers Infinity War. So that gives you guys Thursday, Friday, and Saturday early morning or matinee if you're on the East Coast, whatever. So you get plenty of time. Tons of you guys are going to have a chance to see it by the time we do the spoiler review. Very excited about doing that. I just have a lot of fun doing these live spoiler reviews. So keep that in mind. Saturday afternoon, the 28th is when we're going to do that. All right, let's keep things going here. Square Geek writes, binging Netflix Lost in Space. It's so good. I am also binge watching Lost in Space. I'm going to say I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't know that I'd say it's so good, but you're not alone. I'm reading other people who are really enjoying it, which is great. But again, I'll do my review. I'm going to finish the season here in just a little bit. And then I will do my review a little bit later this afternoon. It will be online this afternoon. Timothy Platt writes, hey, John, why can't my Capitals win in the playoffs? Man, I don't know. You have got one of the greatest all-time pure goal scorers on this team that have done so much damage in the regular season for years. And they cannot shake this monkey off their bat. They cannot shake this monkey off their bat of like advancing in the playoffs. It's just nuts. A couple times it's been because of Crosby. But I mean, Ovechkin, look, let's just say Ovechkin is a Hall of Famer. He's going in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. There is even an outside chance, it's like 5%. There's an outside chance Ovechkin could catch Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record. It's possible. I remember reading a stat, he needs to play X number of more seasons scoring at least 30 goals a season for X number of years. It makes it unlikely, but it's possible. He's just such a natural, pure goal scorer. It's crazy. So, I don't know. And I've never liked the Washington Capitals, but a couple of years ago when they lost in the playoffs again, I just started cheering for them a little bit. It's like, come on. At least get to a finals. That team and Ovechkin deserve to be in an NHL in a Stanley Cup final. So I don't know, man. They've got some kind of curse on them or something. It's really weird. Patrick Conway writes, Hulk rips Thanos big guy in two after Hulkbuster fight. Possibility. Look, the one thing is for sure and clear. We are going to see Hulk do some damage. Hulk is going to mess some fools up in this movie. Of that, I have no doubt. And I think there's going to be a lot of cannon fodder he's going to take out. I think there's going to be a couple of Black Order he probably goes one-on-one with and takes him down. He ain't going to beat Thanos, clearly, but I think we are going to see Hulk do a lot of damage in this movie, which is one of the things I'm really excited about. Aaron Sanders writes, hey, John, just heard that the Fox Disney deal will be complete. Here we go. I just heard it will be complete by the summer of 2019 at the least. Is this true or just more fake news? Look, it's not fake news. They're hoping, but do not believe anybody who tells you that's a lock. It's not. There are still so many variables here. Now, it very well could get locked down in the summer of 2019. That fits in with our time. We've been saying it could be a year to a year and a half, and summer of 2019 is when that year and a half would be up, right? So it doesn't take a rocket science. Right from the day they announced that they were trying to do this deal, it said it could take a year to a year and a half for it to get done. Well, guess what? Summer of 2019 is the year and a half from when the deal got triggered. So anybody can say that. That's just throwing spaghetti against the wall. But nobody knows that that's going to be the final thing because there's just too many other wild cards at play here, especially with this AT&T and Time Warner merger being held up by the government in court. And believe me, the result of that is going to have implications on this deal. Look, I've said from the beginning, this deal will probably get done. But anybody who's telling you it's locked is lying to you. Unless you're just saying they're predicting it will be locked, that's fine. But anybody who tells you right now, no, it's a done deal, it's signed, it's summer 2019 is when it's complete, that's it, that's fact. They're straight up either dumb or they're lying to you. Because there are still too many variables at play. But again, let's reemphasize, right from the moment this deal got announced, it was said and guessed it would probably take about a year to a year and a half to get it done. And saying summer 2019, why is anybody acting surprised about this? That's the year and a half. That's what we've been saying all along. So it may get done, may not. We're just going to have to wait and see. TF writes, wasn't there a movie being produced by James Wan and Blumhouse about a house which locks down during a burglary? What happened to it? Hey, it may still be in development. Who knows? But again, what happened to this movie, it's this. For every 100 movies that at least have an idea, or they get sort of in motion, maybe 3 of them actually make it to the screen. So it's really not a question of what happened, it's just it didn't happen. It's not that something derailed it, it's just that like 97% of these movies don't ever actually happen. It's very, very rare. Like for every one movie you see on screen, there's 1,000 others that some studio at one point looked at, and then it never came to fruition. So now, again, with this particular, I remember this project you're talking about. Who knows? It could still be in discussion. Juan's a little busy right now, clearly, with a little movie coming up. So there's that. So it might still be in development, might still happen, don't know. But if it doesn't, it's just another one of those films that not enough happened for it to happen. It's not about what happened to it, why didn't it happen? It's simply the things didn't happen that needed to happen in order for the movie to happen. It's just one of those situations. All right, Sam Sherman writes, wanted to ask since the first trailer, but work is stupid and I haven't watched live. You think Avengers theme will ever match Star Wars? Those trumpets get me going. No. It's great. Boom, bum, bum, bum. Like I do. I like that anthem, that theme. But it ain't the Star Wars theme, man. And it ain't the Imperial March. And it ain't 5 or 6. It ain't Duel of the Fates. And it ain't 5 or 6 other pieces of Star Wars music. Look, I love the MCU. However, the MCU has not scored real high with their musical scores. I think that musical scores is one of the areas that I think the DCEU films have actually done better than the MCU films, is their musical scores and their soundtracks. So, but the Avengers one is a good one. It's quite a good one. But it's not the music that gets me pumped. It's just that the music reminds me of the Avengers itself. So that's what gets me pumped. You know what I'm saying? You can see the difference that I'm trying to articulate here. So no, it'll never be on the same level as the Star Wars theme. Okay. Connor Diaz writes, where to go? Connor Diaz writes, you're the best critic and inspiration, mate. Oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Really, honestly, I don't think I'm the best critic. I don't even really consider myself a film critic. I'm a film pundit. I just give commentary on the movie industry. There are guys there. I can think of several guys out there who, just as far as straight being a film critic goes, are probably better than me. I think there's a good number of them. But that's okay, because I'm not even really considering myself a film critic per se. I'm more of a pundit. I give commentary, observation, and opinion about the movie industry as a whole, as opposed to breaking down, dissecting each of it. I do film reviews, and I love doing film reviews, and I think I'm pretty good at doing film reviews. But it's always funny because I don't really consider myself a film critic per se. There are other guys out there, men and women, who are at being pure film critics I think are better than me. But hey, man, I thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Let's see. Timothy Platt writes, also, you're the reason I started getting into movies, so thanks. Keep bringing the filthy. Thanks so much, man. That's actually the most exciting thing I can hear. That me doing what I do gets people more into movies. That's like the ultimate thing to me. That's the ultimate compliment. So thank you so much, Timothy. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you're a bigger film fan as a result. Ben Davis writes, hey, John, what are your thoughts on Big Mouth? Still haven't gotten into it. Still haven't watched it. I remember I watched the trailers for it. I talked about the trailers on the John Campea show. Looked hilarious. I love the creative people behind it. Still, I've never had a chance to sit down and watch it. It's just the reality. I don't have a lot of time to watch TV. I probably watch more TV than I really have any business watching. That's why I'm up till 4 a.m, because I'm trying to get caught up on this TV show. But still haven't seen it. I hear great things about it. Anne watched it. She liked it. She didn't rave about it, but she liked it. But I know a couple other people who really rave about it, so hopefully one of these days I'll have a chance to sit down and binge it. The number of Thor writes, thoughts on the movie Training Day? It's a great movie. I mean, talking about Handsome Hawk, Denzel Washington won him an Academy Award. This is a solid movie. Not one of the great, I don't think it's Denzel's best movie or anything like that, but it's a solid movie. I enjoy Training Day. James B. writes, Disneyland in Canada. Canadian Disney cast members might be the friendliest people in the universe. Yeah, so this was actually brought up the other day. So Disney is building a $6.5 billion theme park, a Disneyland park in the Toronto area, which is awesome. Because it means I'll get to go back home and take my nieces and nephews, and at some point my own kids, to go to a Disneyland, which would be great. I'm super excited about that. But that's funny. Disney cast members who are all Canadian in Canada, you probably got the friendliest people on the planet right there. So thanks a lot for sending that in, James. All right. The man with the plan. Holy crap, it's almost already been an hour. Okay, we just got a couple of minutes left here, guys. Hey, John. By nature, you win. There you go. That's got to be one of the pieces of merchandising. By the way, got a little announcement I'm going to make here in a minute, but let me just finish up with the questions first, and I've got a little bit of an announcement. Hey, John, by nature, you win. If Universal and Disney were to agree on it, would you want another Hulk film, or does he work best as a supporting character? Oh, I'd love another Hulk film. Love it. Would love it. But he does work perfectly fine as a supporting character in other films, too. So, hey, as long as I'm getting good doses of the Hulk, I'm happy. But if, you said I could press this magic button and I get a new standalone Hulk film, I believe there are things you can do. I would love to see them bring back the Abomination. So, I would love it. But it ain't going to happen. Universal is not giving up those. Disney's going to have to make them a hell of a sweet deal. But Universal is not giving up those distribution rights, and Marvel has no interest right now, apparently, of making another Hulk film if Universal gets to distribute it. But there's the impasse. So, but would I be open for it? Love it. Would absolutely love it, even though I'm totally cool with where they're at. Okay. This next one comes to us from Brian Rogers. Any relation to Steve? Anyway, they brought back Star Wars in 2015. We finally got to see our beloved and iconic characters again. Luke, Han, Leia, Yoda, Chewie, R2, 3PO. Why shouldn't we see Billy's Lando, even for a little bit? Donald's Lando doesn't count. Well, I mean, it comes back to this. Look, I love Billy D. Williams as Lando. Everybody knows this. But the characters serve the story. And if the story they had doesn't have a place for Lando to be a significant contributing part to it, you don't change your story just so you can shoe in a character. I mean, you just don't do that. So if they didn't have a place for the Lando character, you don't compromise your story just so you can shoehorn in a character. It's just the way I feel about it. And look, there's no one's going to disagree that obviously the big three, Luke, Han, Leia, they are the most significant characters. R2 and 3PO have been in every single Star Wars movie, so you got to go R2 and 3PO. Yoda, Yoda wasn't in the other ones. He just finally popped up for a second in this one. And there's just too many things to explain. Like, you'd have to explain how is Lando still around? Like, that character, that Lando Calrissian character, he wouldn't stick around. Like, after the fall of the Empire, he'd then go off and do his own thing again. He'd go off to doing his own swindle. He's got his own con to do, man. So look, would I have been tickled pink if Billy D. Williams' Lando showed up in one of these movies? Damn right, I would be tickled pink. I would love it. But at the same time, I get it. I get it if he's not there. But hey, Episode 9's still coming. Episode 9 is still coming. Don't be shocked if we get a Lando cameo. in episode 9. Just don't be shocked about that. I think it's a possibility. Because, I remember they had Billy D, I believe, was at both The Force Awakens. I don't know if Billy D was at the episode 8 premiere, but I know I saw him at the Force Awakens premiere and the Rogue One premiere. So they're obviously, and then he did the voice for Lando in Rebels, the Rebels animated show they just did. He did the voice for it. So clearly they still they've got a connection. Billy D and Lucasfilm still are connected. Don't be shocked at all if we see a Billy D appearance in episode 9. Again, I will understand if they don't. I get it, but don't be shocked if we do. All right, 2 more quick ones, and then we will call it a day. Chris Martin writes, still Star Wars talk on Sunday. Yes, there is Star Wars talk tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in for that. And the final question comes to us from Esther Kunka, who writes, you think Mulan might be filmed in Chinese? For Chinese release makes business sense to give Chinese audience actual Chinese dialogue. It'd be dumb to dub over dialogue or give subtitles when you don't need to. Well, you do need to, because yeah, it can make a lot of money in China, but you got to make your money everywhere else too. So I do believe it will be done in English, because that's the biggest movie market in the world. The biggest movie market in the world is North America. That will always be, might not always be, but as of now, it is by far the biggest movie market in the world. So it will be shot in English. Now, when you say, like the last thing you mentioned there, Esther, it would be dumb to dub over dialogue when you don't need to. Well, you do need to. I mean, the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, a lot of the North American audience don't want to go to watch subtitled movies. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't be that way, but it kind of is that way. And Disney, when they're making Mulan, they want it to succeed. And it needs to succeed in North America. It will succeed in China for sure, even if they don't record it all originally in Chinese. But I really, really highly doubt that they're going to film it all in Chinese. I think if they were going to film it in Chinese, you don't need to get these actors who are all fluent in English. Jet Li, who used to struggle. I heard interviews with Jet Li recently. He's actually quite fluent in English. Donnie Yen is clearly very fluent in English. Gong Li, I believe, is very fluent in English. So you don't, if they were just going to shoot it all in Chinese, they wouldn't worry about getting these actors who are Chinese, yet can speak fairly perfect English. So it seems like that. But it's not a crazy theory. Like, I won't fall out of my chair with like complete shock and surprise if they actually do end up doing exactly what you're suggesting. I won't fall out of my chair with shock and surprise. I'll be surprised, but not shocked. You know what I mean? It's totally a possibility. It's a valid thought that they could do it, but I think that makes the absolute most business sense, and this is how I think Disney will do it, to do it in English. I think they're going to record the film in English. And that's just how I think they're going to do it. But don't be shocked if they do it the way you're suggesting either, because it's a totally valid idea. All right, the final question. This will be the final question, then we'll call it a day. Anthony R. writes, I'm not crazy about Supergirl or Legends. I wish they would cancel both shows so the writers can focus on better writing for Flash and Arrow. Yeah, I'm kind of over, especially after that season finale of Legends of Tomorrow. I think now I'm over Legends of Tomorrow. It took me, I was never totally thrilled with the show. I've always just been, it's good enough that I'll still watch the next episode. But I think the show's gotten quite bad, and it could have been quite good. So I think I'm over the show. I do. I think I'm over it. As far as Supergirl goes, you know my feelings. That show can burn in hell for what they did jobbing. You do not job Superman or Batman. You do not have Superman or Batman job to lesser characters. All right? They are the two highest deities of the comic book food chain, all right? You don't have them job to other characters just to put other characters over. So the Supergirl show, for me, can go burn in hell. So there you go. All right, guys, now listen. Any of the live questions you guys sent in that I did not get around to, don't worry. I'm doing a companion video a little bit later today. Your questions that got sent in, like yours, Square Geek, will be in the companion video. Don't worry, I will get to those, absolutely. All right, guys, that will do it for me for today's special Saturday edition of Open Mic. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, and here's the little announcement, all right? Here's the announcement. My announcement, and I can't remember what the question was that sparked the announcement, but is basically this. You guys know there are such things out there in the YouTube communities as MCNs, also known as multi-channel networks. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. And a lot of your bigger YouTube channels belong to an MCN, a part of a community, basically. I have just signed a deal with a MCN. And that MCN that I have signed on with is BBTV. Now, if you've heard of BBTV, because like they're one of the most giant YouTube channels out there is H3H3. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch H3H3. They are part of BBTV. A number of other very large-scale YouTubers are part of BBTV. BBTV reached out to me back in November. And we've been negotiating back and forth for, November, December, January, February, March, April, for 5 months. We've been going back and forth and negotiating and all that kind of stuff. And we came to a deal. And I'm very happy to let you guys know that the John Campea show and the John Campea YouTube channel is now part of the BBTV network. Now, what does that mean practically? Practically, not a lot. The John Campea show, like everything is going to look the same. Like if I never made this announcement, you would probably never know that I've joined a network or anything like that. They have no control. This is very important for you guys to know. They have absolutely zero control or influence over the content of this channel, over anything. It is still just me running it. I have 100% ownership of everything we're doing on this channel. For those of you guys who know how MCNs work, you know that's the deal. So they have absolutely no influence, no control, nothing like that. They are just really going to be helping me in a number of areas of trying to make the channel better and try to promote the channel and things like that. And I think they're going to be a really good resource for me. And I've joined them. You want to know who else is part of BBTV? Grace Randolph. Who knew? Me and Grace Randolph are in the same network there. Anyway, so that's, I just want to let you guys know that, make you guys the first ones aware of that. I just signed the deal a couple of days ago. So, should be fun. Again, you guys probably won't even notice any difference at all. But I just want to make you guys aware of that because you guys support me and I want to let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. So there you go. All right, guys, that will do it for me for today's installment show. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to head off and keep watching the last 2 episodes of Lost in Space so I can do my review later today. So I got 2 more videos coming today, Lost in Space and the companion video. Make sure you come back and check both of those out. Guys, I had a blast doing this show today. Thank you so much for being here. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.